Welcome to Get a Word In, a podcast about content marketing. I'm your host, Adam Walker. I'm passionate about sharing stories and knowledge through content, especially in the form of podcasting. In fact, I co-founded Edgewise.media, a podcast-first marketing content agency. On this show, I interview content marketers at some of the top companies in the world and discover what's working for them, what isn't, and most importantly, what's next. So stay tuned and get ready for some great content about content marketing. All right, joining me on the show today is Katie Shovlin from Omaha Steaks. Katie, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So tell us a little bit about yourself. Like, who are you? Like, what do you do at Omaha Steaks? What do your days look like? Just give us the overview.
Sure. So Katie Shovlin, I am our Director of Channel Management and Campaign Planning here. So my team is made up of the crew that is looking for the overall shopping experience, indexing heavily on the e-commerce part of that, and then also the content side, so our content strategy and how that ties into the different messaging that we have in market. So social media is on the team. I have the web team. We work really closely with our UX and development team and our product team for how we're merchandising those different products on the site.
That sounds profoundly complex. I love it. That's great. All right. So you're gonna be able to speak a lot into the channel side of this. That's gonna be great. So we're here to talk about content marketing. Let's start with just what's working. What are you seeing success with as it relates to content marketing?
Sure. I always say if I wanted a boring job, I should have gone into maybe accounting because it's the same every year. But, having worked in digital marketing for the last, 20 plus years, it is one of those things that is constantly changing and constantly evolving. And, when I started my career, I was working for a higher ed consulting company at the time doing, digital consulting and whatnot. And I remember having a Facebook account and all of a sudden they were opening it up from people that had their college edu addresses to anybody with a .com. And I was, young in my 20s, and all of a sudden I had all of my peers at work jumping in here. And so, I just reflect back on that and I look at how different it is nowadays. You are one person and there are so many different ways that you can show up in so many different channels, and it's not as cut and dry as it once was, right? That separation between personal and professional. And, when we look at the content that we're making at Omaha Steaks, there's so many different ways that you can spend your time. I think that's probably the biggest challenge that we have is making sure that we're investing in the right type of content. And, back in the day, I loved blogs. I loved, having my feed readers, and I would start there and I would, go through all of the different content. And I really enjoyed that. And anymore, I think we're seeing attention spans are incredibly different. We have some really great content on the site, with recipes and how-tos and things like that. And, that has been developed over the last decade. But we're also finding that we need to take that and then create it in different formats like video, because people aren't necessarily probably Googling as much. They are, they're using social sites as search engines too. And so we have to take that into account with all of the content that we're creating.
So is there any particular type of content you're creating right now that's like, what I'm trying to ask is, like, what's your favorite kind of content right now? Like, of all the options you've got, like, what's your favorite?
Favorite to consume, obviously video. Video is having a huge moment. Short form video, things that are quick. I don't think that's probably any surprise in a content conversation that, we're focused on how to do it, but doing it eloquently is where the challenge is. And so we focus a lot more on finding the right experts to help create more of that short form content. And, we're always balancing, we're a food company. We have incredible food. We've been around for 100 years. We know steaks better than anybody. And, we need to look at the type of content that we're going to be creating that people can consume quickly. And so, we really balance how many recipes we're making. We have an incredible head chef, David Rose. He is constantly coming up with new ideas for us, but he's also helping the, person that's just in the kitchen that may not have confidence in how to cook steak. We're seeing a lot of really good results with just some of those basic things he helped us do a video just recently about not using lighter fluid and how to get your grill going instead using some oil and some paper towels. And so, it's a balance between the beautiful video, but it's also just helping people feel comfortable in the kitchen. And that's where we found success with our chef helping provide some of that content.
I love that. Okay, that's great. All right, so now related to content marketing, what is not working? What did you do a couple of years ago that you don't do now?
I think one of the things that we've moved away from a little bit is gift guides. We have found that we would rather be tapping a network of influencers that are creating their gift guides to consider Omaha Steaks as a part of it versus just our gift guide. So we're shifting a little bit. Father's Day is, one of our best holidays along with, the Christmas season and whatnot. And so just trying to think outside of the content that is on our owned channels and the type of content that we are helping those affiliates and, the advocates for our brand and the type of content that they can put out, because there's such greater reach than just our own channels if we're tapping the people that also love our products.
That seems to me like a really thoughtful and strategic move to go from like creating your own gift guide to finding an influencer, creating a gift guide and being a part of that. Like there's some kind of power in like that influencer referring to you versus the other, versus you trying to refer to yourself, right? I love that strategy. I don't know that I would have thought of that. That's fantastic.
Yeah, thank you.
So let's talk channels. You're all up in the channel mix there. That's part of your, I think, title was channels. You're going to have some great feedback on this. What channels are you seeing success on? What channels are kind of rocking and rolling? What channels maybe you're dialing down a little bit? I'm really curious about how you think about X and Threads and TikTok and all of that. So like, walk me through it.
Sure. Well, and when we think of channel, we're not just thinking of marketing channel necessarily. We're thinking of the channel where you're coming in to place your order, right? So we have, 50 stores across the United States. And so are you coming online to place your order? Or are you going into one of the stores? And so I would say in terms of those kind of channels, the biggest shift that we're starting to see is obviously people are going back into stores where, COVID, was great for Omaha Steaks. We had a lot of success with people who maybe hadn't tried ordering meat online directly to their door. We had a lot of people that were coming in and trying that. And now we're starting to see people are going back to the stores. And so, we are working on how we can connect our site to our stores a little bit more sophisticatedly, like you have when you go to some of the bigger box retailers and whatnot. So we are working on that quite a bit. In terms of marketing channels, I am on every social media app that you can find. I have a 16-year-old daughter, and so always kind of watching and seeing what she is going on. And, obviously that is not our target market at Omaha Steaks. It's very different. But, when I look at my career, there are constantly new social media sites. And do you set up a new account and whatnot? We have our Threads account set up, and Danielle Johnson is the manager over that area. That she does an incredible job, and she is constantly making sure that we're securing our brand name on some of those different social sites as they pop up, like Lemonade and things like that. And so we really want to figure out which one that sticks. And obviously TikTok is one that has emerged and has had more staying power than some of the other ones that have been out there. I would say we still have great success with Facebook. Our target audience is a little bit older, so they are spending more time there. Where we see some of these other channels like TikTok, it's obviously a different demographic that is not our core consumer. I think we've had some success even hearing from a recruiting standpoint, some of the content that we put out there, so it helps justify some of the time that is spent there. And as we do look to evolve a 100-year-old company, we have to continue to play and explore. I think my whole career, it's just been poking and prodding and seeing what works, and not just trusting that we can necessarily hire an outside agency to do it for us and help solve it. So we have to be in the space and we have to be messing with it. So I don't know that we've seen, the volume that we would like from TikTok, but we also can't write it off. We want to play with it. We want to figure it out. I would say, YouTube is one that we've had more success with as we've switched over to share more how-tos and not just recipes. So again, obviously, everybody knows that quote that YouTube is a larger search engine, which I think if I saw that validated, that's not actually legitimate. You've heard that one, right? That, it's the second biggest search engine. But anyway, in terms of the content that we're putting out with how-tos, we've seen greater success and more engagement by putting how-tos out there, both on, YouTube and TikTok and even Instagram.
Yeah, I love that. I love how-to videos. I'm a big fan. I'm going to look at your channel because I'm diving more into cooking these days, and I need a lot of how-to there. That's for sure. So
Yeah, we just want people to be comfortable and confident in the kitchen. And so, I kind of put them in two camps. There are the people that love to cook. They are the ones that, if you say you need saffron in the recipe, they know exactly and they're excited about it. And then we have the people that are, just wanting to make a great quality meal without, the long list of ingredients. And so we're trying to make sure that we're supporting types of content for both of those people and their cooking habits.
I'm the second camp. I'm just trying to make something that's edible that my kids may or may not eat. That's pretty much my goal. So usually not, but I can hope. So last question, if you had to focus, if you had to say, I'm going to do this one type of content marketing for the next 3 months, what one thing would you just double down on right now?
I would say that we would get back to the core of steaks, filet mignon, and the how-tos around that in a video format. We have all of it in long form content and want to, really zero in and make sure that we have the right short form content to go along with all of those tips and how-tos.
That's perfect. I love that. Now, Katie, if you don't mind, I've been taking notes. I'm going to kind of run through the notes and summarize our conversation, and then you can wrap up and let me know if I missed anything, if that's okay with you. So, related to content marketing for what's working, you mentioned the separation between personal and professional is not what it used to be. It certainly changed quite a bit when Facebook sort of went in for everybody. The challenge is investing in the right types of content, and attention spans are different now than they used to be, and so our marketing and our content has to shift to match those attention spans. Search engines are changing, and AI is dramatically changing the way we're dealing with search engines. And your favorite to consume is short form video. That's also my favorite to consume as well. And finding the right experts to create short form video content is key, which I love that approach in particular. For what's not working, you mentioned you're shying away from gift guides, and rather you're spending your time and resources on finding influencers that are doing gift guides and being a part of those gift guides. And I think that's absolutely brilliant, and I love it, and I love to see more of that. For channels, I appreciated you talking about sales channels, because a lot of people I interviewed don't really have that to talk about. So that was really interesting. So you said people are moving back into stores, which is fantastic. Also related to marketing channels, securing your brand name on new channels is important, which is something, I imagine you've got to constantly be thinking about. You're still seeing success on Facebook because it's an older audience, but TikTok helps you with recruiting. And you've got a lot of success on YouTube, in particular with the how-to videos, not just the recipes. For focus, I think you said you'd get back to basics, more how-to content, more how-to videos to help people sort of get to that next level and be able to manage in the kitchen, somebody like me. So does that sound about right? Did I miss anything? You have anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, I think you captured that well. I think the one thing I would add to, that we're looking at in terms of how we create different short form video is finding the expertise of somebody that can create that really visually appealing video with food, that loves to cook, knows how to create recipes, and finding those two skill sets in one is where we can win. We have an incredible production team, but they have a lot on their, backlog of things that we're asking them to do for all areas of the business. And so, finding the people that have the right expertise in cooking and in capturing video is where we're growing a little bit more.
I'm glad you're moving in that direction. That sounds amazing. Well, Katie, it's been so great to have you on the show. I'm definitely going to have you on my short list to have back as well. Thanks so much for your time today.
Yeah, great. Nice to meet you, Adam.
Thanks for listening to Get a Word In, brought to you by Edgewise.media, a podcast-first marketing content agency. To learn more about Edgewise, visit www.edgewise.media. I'm your host, Adam Walker. To connect with me, check out my blog at adamjwalker.com. Thanks for listening, and make sure to subscribe now so you don't miss our next great conversation about content marketing.